Morning, everybody. Today we feature the unthinkable, a Kansas scoring a Kraken. It's my clanmate Noorg, and he makes that Kansas work beautifully for him. I hope you enjoy this one. Then, it's an important message from my side. There's a new COVID strain, mutations, whatever you want to call it out. Please stay safe, everybody. If you don't need to move around, don't move around. We're IT people, gamers and stuff. We're recluses by our very nature anyway. But also tell somebody you love them. Look after your families. And I hope everybody enjoys this replay. Take care. Cheers. Alright guys, so as I said in the intro, I'm playing with Noorg here. And Fonz. Fonz is in Edinburgh. I'm in Bismarck. And Noorg's in Kansas. Now I'm going to kind of focus on me for a change. Since I died quite early in the match, I played like a complete and utter potato. We're looking at Noorg. And Noorg was actually surprised himself at how well he did in his Kansas in this match. So, Kansas is obviously the American battleship line split at tier 8. Very slow, big guns, and they are thick boys. Now, to be very fair and honest, I have not taken my Kansas out. I have not even taken it into co-op to try and get the snowflake. That is how little interest I have in this line. To be very honest, I would probably finish a bunch of my DD grinds before I actually play this thing. I don't like slow ships. I have really started getting a liking to fast ships. Recently unlocked the Mogador. Still trying to get a good game in. I mean, I'm getting decent games, but I'm trying to look for that good game that I can feature in the Mogador. As you've seen me play on stream with the Marceau, that thing speed gets me into more trouble than it gets me out of. But hey, you know, I like fast ships. Now in this thing with a speed flag does 22 point something, let's have a look here, 22.6 knots, no, not for me. It's too slow, it's too unmaneuverable. The matchmaking does favor us. It's a 6 to 8. If this was a 7 to 9 or worst case 8 to 10 match, I think the Kansas is a prime candidate for CVs to pound onto. Secondly, tier 10 CVs will just rip this thing apart. And unfortunately, something I found, for example, in my anchorage, I really enjoy my anchorage. I really enjoy playing my anchorage. But that bugger constantly gets up tiered into tier 10 matches, and a tier 8 cruiser and tier 10 match, I featured the anchorage. It's a struggle. I literally sit here and sweat. Now we're on two brothers, and if we were three Bismarcks or Bismarck and a Tirpitz and Odin or something, we would have gone down the center. Oh yeah, we would have gone down the center. Sadly we're not. This is a Nagato off in the distance, and Noorg's got his spotter plane up. Interesting consumables is that it's got a spotter plane, which is pretty much standard for a lot of the American battleships. And then it's got DFAA, like the Thunderer. DFAA, yeah, there's a whole lot of debate if it's actually... Oh, Noorg is about to scratch this really nice paint job in this Massachusetts, and it breaks all his speed. That speed that he so hard struggled to get. So he pops his DFA and you can see there's a couple of flak bursts that are 500, 570, etc. But not massive flak bursts. Shots out at that Fiji behind the rock there. And then you can see me in the corner there, just moving up with my Bismarck. I was looking for a nice secondary match. Oh, Noorg just citadels a Fiji behind that island. Hello, Fiji. How are you today? Now, I saw that Richelieu, and I thought, just there's a Fiji and a Richelieu. I can possibly take all of that on. And let's just say I potatoed. Potato quite regularly, so I don't claim to be a very good player in this game. Never have been, never will be. And there you see my secondary start going. unfortunately for me, there was a whole bunch of other ships around that I didn't pay attention to, including Elefantask. And yeah, I got exploded fairly early. The Bismarck used to be a relatively good ship, but I found it. Ooh, another 5,500 off the Fiji. Pensacola finishes off that Fiji. Now back to my story. Now I found the Bismarck. I don't know. It's like the Freddy disease rolled down the tech tree with it. It's a little bit abysmal lately. Decent but not good. So they were all having a secondary brawl with this Richelieu. But I've already eaten torps there. And as you can see, I'm on like a third of my health. And there comes the Elefantask again. Now Elefantask, interesting DD. Just finished grinding mine. I wouldn't say it was a easy grind, but it's not a difficult grind either. And there comes more torps from the Elefantask. Now I'm trying to pull back, but the Ranger also has other ideas. Oh, Cleveland kills Queen Elizabeth. There New Mexico kills me. My secondaries luckily kill their Richelieu. So I get a close quarters and a flesh wound. But this video isn't about me. This is about Noorg and the Kansas. So now that I died like a total potato in the first 6 minutes of the match, let's see how Noorg masters the Kansas here. On his side here there is a Nagato moving up as well as a New Mexico. The Ranger is busy bullying the New Mexico there a bit. And then obviously there is the Elefantask stalking up and down here. The Elefantask's biggest drawback is the short range torps. You kind of got to get close to things to get those torps off. Oof. Noorg takes a bit of a broadside there from a Nagato, but he manages to take 18,000 off that New Mexico. With only 53,000 hit points, I think that was pretty much a third of that poor New Mexico's hit points gone. And then we noticed our cap is being capped. The B cap is being capped. Some mad lads actually went up the middle. So Fons starts responding along with CV to try and see what's happening there. Noorg types to the CV, hey, but better get your CV moving, because whatever's there is going to try and put holes in you. Turns out it's an Indianapolis, as their Cleveland kills our Akatsuki over at C-cap, D-cap, my apologies. It's a Dallas and an Indianapolis. Now, in all fairness to those mad lads, well done. A Dallas and an Indianapolis is the last ships I would take up there. Noorg takes another huge chunk out of the New Mexico. New Mexico's down to like 4,000 hit points. Noorg's luckily got a Pensacola here with him to help him a little bit. Pensacola has put up fighters, and I know Noorg has taken about 6 of the enemy Rangers planes out of the sky there. So the New Mexico is healing, but Noorg is more focused on this near full health Nagato. Hopefully the Pensacola can finish off the New Mexico. Sadly there, Massachusetts kills our New Orleans. Noorg gets a really nice hit on that Nagato, takes about a third of his health away there. And our Monahan torpedoes the Dallas. Puts a bit of pressure on that middle push. And it looks like, unfortunately, the Pensacola could not finish off this New Mexico. And there the Elefantask pops up again. Sneaky little bugger.
All stations, concentrate fire on the target.
So, this New Mexico is border humping, asking Aslan to open the portal to Narnia. And Noorg makes sure he can't enter the portal. Unfortunately, this Elefantask is just too fast. But he's missed both of his torpedoes. So the Lefantask has a center rack, which is shot, and then he has 2 racks on the sides, and he's shot 1 rack of those already, and he's coming in now to use the rack on the other side. Now, luckily for Noorg, he's got the Pensacola with him, which has a relatively decent reload in this situation. Lefantask is swinging. He wants to get his other rack off. Noorg kills the Lefantask, and now needs to swing this fat ship to avoid eating too many torps. Unfortunately, eats 1, 10,000 damage, and loses a turret there. Monahan gets flesh wound and finishes off that Indianapolis that was up there doing the B cap. Now the teams are fairly even, 6 ships each. They've still got a DD remaining. We've lost all our DDs. Fonz is busy recapping B there. Oof. 3 citadels on the Nagato, and Noorg gets a devastating strike. Well done. You notice Noorg is already up at 139,000 damage with 3 kills in his Kansas. I was spectating this at the time, and I was like, "Jeez, Noorg, you're really making this Kansas work." And this is one of the better matches for a Kansas that I've seen in a long while. So Fonz manages to recap B, so both teams are on equal caps. So for the points gain, unfortunately they have gained about 60 points in that little escapade there. Their Massachusetts kills our Lazo, and they've got a very big push coming on the right hand side of the map. So we were on Discord, and Fonz says to Noorg, "But can you turn around that Kansas, please? We need help on this side." Now we have a Massachusetts going down towards chasing their Ranger. They also have a Massachusetts that was last spotted very south in H9, but obviously he has moved. That was the last known location on the map. So Noorg turns this fat beast at 17 knots and starts heading back to the B cap to go and support Fonz there in Edinburgh. Now, at the time, I was also talking to Fonz and saying to him, he's a mad lad for playing the Edinburgh. That was one of the ships that I despised the most. I could not get that thing to work at all. I really just could not. Noorg takes a bit of a pot shot at the Massachusetts back there, which is now coming to view of our Massachusetts, and unfortunately scores a single ricochet. Our B cap is being turned again. They've got a very big push, and the team is asking the Ranger to actually spot B cap. There's a Cyclone. Thankfully, our Massachusetts. Secondary is the Massachusetts at the bottom. Excuse me. And he's now got a clear path towards the south. We've got 5 ships to their 3, and unfortunately our Pensacola has done a not-sir and beached himself. Reversing. And Fonz is trying to spot, and he's pleading with the Ranger, who seems intent on not spotting. Times like this that we need Louise there. Louise would have sailed his Ranger straight into B cap. So, it's an enemy Massachusetts. And Noorg's got more health than him. He can handle him. And then there's suddenly radar as he gets 5 overpins on a Massachusetts. What luck is that? What is this? Fonz unfortunately nods as well. And there's a Cleveland. That is a problem. That thing can put out a lot of shells in a very quick time. Cleveland unfortunately kills Fonz there. The Ranger is trying his very best to try and bomb the Massachusetts that's on 6,000 health. Pensacola scores a nice hit. And this Massachusetts is burning, and I can see Noorg's mind move. Like, can he get the kill here? Unfortunately, the Massachusetts kills at Pensacola, and the Pensacola burns down the Massachusetts. So, 3-3. Yet they've got 3 caps. And there Hatsuharu pops up. He got way too close. Quick shoals. Noorg takes the Hatsuharu for his 4th kill. Now, we initially thought this Cleveland was going to try and ram. And with the Kansas not being that maneuverable, Noorg puts a 12,500 salvo into him. A lot of overpen, sadly. Noorg gets his high caliber. Now, the Hatsuharu sent out a whole bunch of torpedoes, and now the Cleveland actually has to turn to avoid his own Hatsuharu's torpedoes. And he is just pounding Noorg. Oh, this poor Kansas. Unfortunately, the Cleveland gets what I see often, and he gets a bit of a target tunnel, as I call it. And he tunnels himself into an island as well. 5 overpens. There's a Citadel. And there's Noorg's Kraken unleashed. Yeah. He got Kraken in a Kansas. Now, unfortunately, the enemy team is over 100 points ahead. We've got to retake B. The Massachusetts is still chasing the Ranger down there. Our Ranger seems to be chasing with torpedo bombers as well. Pensacola says, hey, sorry for dying. But I mean, geez, he was up against against Cleveland and a Massachusetts. There's not much that he could have done with that fragile little hull. So Noorg's trying to cap B here. We've got to kill that Ranger. 4 minutes to kill him. Can it be done? It's a couple of seconds. And there we go. Then Noorg gets a captured ribbon as well. These front turrets makes some holes on the island. Rear turrets, the shells do look good. Oof, and he gets a Citadel, 14k off the Ranger. That was a beautiful shot. Ranger has got 5,600 hit points. He's got our Ranger trying to torpedo bomber him. Not sure how successful that is, because it looks like he tried to torpedo him from the rear. That Ranger is moving at speed. And I can see Noorg is really focusing on the aim there. Salvo out, but it looks like it's just behind him. Oof. 1 hit for 1,000 hit points. Lead was just not enough. It does look like the Massachusetts has started turning and getting his guns going at the Ranger as well. So hopefully they will kill this Ranger before the game ends, because this would be a shame if this turned into a loss. Noorg sends his shells out. Shells are incoming from the Massachusetts as well. Massachusetts shells hit first, and there's the Ranger dead. Now, if we look at the after stats, this was insane. In a Kansas, 740,000 credits, 193,000 hit points of damage done, 15,000 XP, Confederate, high caliber, Dreadnought, Kraken unleashed in a Kansas. And obviously, if we look at the standings of where the team is, we can see Noorg right at the top, Fonz second in his Edinburgh, and yours truly fourth from the bottom, because I played like a total potato. Noorg, this was a pleasure to watch, a pleasure to re-watch, and a pleasure to host. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoy this Kraken Kansas play. Have a fantastic week. Stay safe out there. Cheers.